Welcome to Pavo Plays. So today I'm going to be going through a very quick rules overview and the first scenario playthrough of Pathfinder the Adventure Card Game Skull and Shackles base set. This is quite an old game, it's about 2014, 2015, but there's a new core set out now, and I thought it'd be good to just have a quick walkthrough of the game and play through the entire first scenario to see whether it's something that you enjoy. Okay, the objective of the Pathfinder card game is to find and defeat the big bad guy. The bad guy changes from scenario to scenario before the end of the mission. So the mission ends when either you die, you as your hero dies, or time runs out. There's going to be an inbuilt timer in the game, and I'll show you a bit more during the setup how that works. Okay, now for the hero, all heroes will have a stat card that looks something like this, okay, which tells you their strength die. In this case, Orlok is a D12, dexterity is a D4, constitution is a D8, and so on and so forth. So the D represents the type of dice that you roll for the different checks that involve these skills during the game. Okay. So let's move on to setup, and it'll be a bit clearer there. Okay, to set up the game, first you got to choose a scenario. So in this case, we're going island hopping, and the scenario will tell you what the big villain is. So in this case, it's the Adaro Barbarian. It will tell you the henchmen to use, which is the enemy ship and the hammerhead sharks. Okay? And on the flip side, it'll tell you the locations where you can find these villains and henchmen. Okay, so I'm playing a one-player game, so I'll only take out the Shark Island, Floating Shipyard, and Lonely Island locations. Right. So on these three locations, you will also see a deck list, and this is the on these three locations, you'll also see a deck list, and these are the type of cards that will go into the decks of these locations. Alright, so now I've set up the decks according to the deck list. So for example, the Lonely Island deck, which is the one over here, it will have 3 barriers, 2 weapons, 1 spell, 1 armor, 1 item, and 1 blessing, and so on and so forth with the other 3 islands. Now we have to set up the bad guys. So there will be, as mentioned in the scenario list, the bad guy will be facing the Adoro Barbarian, and you'll have an enemy ship and hammerhead shark. So that's where these will be then randomly shuffled into one of these decks. So the objective of the mission is to find where the villain is, defeat him, and make sure that he can't escape to any of the other decks. If we encounter a henchman, after defeating the henchman, we can close the location. This will prevent the villain from running away to that location. And we have to do this before either the time runs out. So at the start of the game, we'll set aside a timer deck. We call this the blessing decks. Every start of the turn, we'll flip open 1 card. When the blessing deck is emptied and we still haven't defeated the villain, we have lost. The other way to lose is to lose life. In Pathfinder, your deck of cards is your health. Okay? So all heroes will start with a standard configuration of cards in their deck. 4 weapons, 2 spells, 3 armor, 1 item, and 5 blessings for Orlok. Every character has a different combination of this. Okay, anytime a character takes damage, he or she must discard cards from his hand. So anytime a hero's deck runs out, he or she is said to be defeated. And of course, once all heroes are defeated, then the game ends. I'm playing a one-player game, so I only have Orlok. So if Orlok's gone, then the decks, then the game's over. So how does gameplay work? Every turn, I will choose a location to visit. Every location has a special ability that happens when the character is at that location and when the location is closed. Okay, so every turn I will pick a location to visit. I will then turn open the top card of the deck and resolve it. There are basically 2 types of cards in this game. There are Banes, which are villains and monsters and stuff that stand in your way. And there are boons, which are weapons, armor, items, allies, anything good that can go into your hero's deck. Now the way to resolve these two types of cards are exactly the same. Okay? So what you do is you do a quick check on this number here. So for boons, you will be looking at a check to acquire, and for banes, you'll be looking at a check to defeat. Okay? So what you do then is you look at your character stat. So let's say, for example, I want to get this Cutlass. So the check to acquire is a strength melee check of 8. I take a look. My strength melee is d12 plus 1. So I roll a d12 plus 1. I need an 8. Okay, I roll the 12 and I acquire this card. So this card then goes into my hand, okay, which I can use it for its special ability, or later on if I take damage I can discard it. Now similarly for monsters and banes and other banes, okay, there'll be a check to defeat. So in this case the check to defeat is 8. Combat 8. And whenever you're using combat, you always look at your strength score unless you have a card in hand that has something different, like this Cutlass for example. Okay, so my strength score is 12. I need an 8 to defeat that. I roll the d12 again. I roll the 4. So I failed. What does that mean? I take the difference in damage. So I needed an 8. I roll the 4. I need to take 4 points of damage. Now these damage must come from cards in my hand. And that's how you take damage in the game. If, however, you have less cards in hand than the amount required of damage you take, you just take as much as you can and you ignore the rest. So play will proceed like this. You take a turn turning over the card, checks to see whether you acquire or defeat the card, and then your turn ends. And it will carry on this way until either we found the bad guy and defeated him, or we lost. Now the special thing about this particular set, the Skulls and Shackles Pathfinder set, is that we each start on a ship. Okay? And the ship will have some loot. There's my plunder table. We'll have some loot, some plunder. So at the start of the game, we'll get one of these random items underneath our ship. Okay? And then throughout the adventure, we can get more items if we defeat other ships, or if we have other things that allow us to get more plunder. At the end of the game, if our ship isn't damaged or isn't wrecked, we'll be able to get all the cards under the ship into our deck for the next game. Right. So what's the point of building cards for the next game? The Pathfinder Adventure Card Game is a progressive campaign style game, which means that the cards that you acquire across the game, you are able to bring over from game to game, and as you level up between games, you'll be able to increase your skills, you'll be able to increase your special abilities, and you'll also be able to increase the number of cards that you can have in your deck. Okay. So the current adventure that we're playing, the Skulls and Shackles one, takes place over 6 different adventure packs, and each adventure pack you'll probably have to go through 5 or 6 different scenarios, and you are able to progress through these scenarios. Okay. So that's a very, very basic run through of the game. Now I'm going to be playing a solo mode with Olok, okay, which I'll use Valoros's figures to represent, and we'll see if I succeed. Okay, before we begin, we actually need to set up our deck. Now, the other character that I was using for the rules explanation, Olok, was not a very good solo character. So I'll be using Selt Yu, the half-elf magus, for this particular adventure. So he's got a good mix of strength for combat, dexterity for barrier checks, as well as constitution intelligence for craft checks to repair and capture ships. Wisdom's probably not that good, and okay charisma. Hand size of 5, so that's pretty good. And he also works well with weapons and spells. So for his weapons, I've chosen to go with a wide variety of both slashing, bludgeoning, as well as slashing and bludgeoning weapons. Yeah, so that's about it. So long swords and maces. For his spells, because he does have weapons, so magic weapons are definite inclusion, as well as some standard attack spells and a utility one as well. His 1 armor, because he's only able to wear light armor, so I think the chain shirt's pretty good. And his item, the eye patch, pretty good for getting ships, I guess. And of course, to get more ships, that's his ally, the Carver. And start off with the only 4 blessings that I'm able to take in this deck, Blessing of God. So you do have to start with every card that has a basic in the trait in the top left when you're making your deck for the first time in the campaign. Right, so let's go. I'll shuffle up the deck. I'll put it here beside my characters. I'll put him up here, and I will roll for the starting plunder. Oh, a 6. One of the above card types. I'll probably go with a random spell. Okay, so we've got that set up. And now we can start. Let's draw our hand size of 5. It's not bad. Oh, check it out. All my weapons and 1 frostbite. Okay. So it looks like fighting for this round. Now, since there's so much fighting to be done, I think I will just head over to Shark Island. Sorry, let me just get the camera up. I'll go over to Shark Island. Okay. So timer, open 1, open Shark Island, and the first thing we deal with is a bunyip. Before we act, succeed at a wisdom 9 check. That's not going to happen. Okay, or the difficulty of your checks is increased by 1 for the rest of the turn. Yeah, I've got a D4 for wisdom, so no way I can get a 9. So difficulty to defeat is a 10. Now, do I want to use a spell or do I want to use a weapon? I think I'll use a weapon and probably recharge it if possible. You can discard. Yeah, I'll probably choose one to discard. I will choose just use a longsword. So my strength is a D8. The longsword adds another D8. So 2D8 plus 3. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go through this slowly then. 2D8 plus 3, I need a 10. Tell you what, I'm going to discard it to get another D6. Yeah, good thing I got the D6. No, I don't really need the D6, it's a plus 3. So yeah, that's good enough. So it's dead. And I will end my turn, drawing back up to my hand size. Turn 2. Oops, before I start the turn, someone will encounter the Hammerhead Shark. Okay, so Hammerhead Shark says it's a defeat, encounter 9. Difficulty to defeat is increased by the adventure deck, which is 0, so that's okay. I'll use my frostbite to do it this time. So Arcane is a D8 plus 3 plus another D6 for the frostbite. So I need a 9 plus all this plus 3, and I need a 9. Yep, I got it. So that kills the Hammerhead Shark. Now this ability is still active because this one says when displayed, damage dealt by that monster is reduced by 1, so that's fine. The Hammerhead Shark is gone. End of the turn, I'll get to get rid of this frostbite. But we can start exploring. Oh, it's a blessing. You need the dexterity 4 or divine 5. I'm not going to use divine because that's not going to be able to get a divine skill, so I'm just going to use dexterity. My dexterity is a d6. I need a 4 plus. Nope, I failed, so this card is gone. And I think that's it for my turn. End of turn, I will try to recharge the frostbite. So I need to attempt a arcane or divine 7 check to recharge the card. So my arcane is d8 plus 3. 5 plus 3 is an 8. Successfully recharged. Goes under my deck. I end my turn by drawing a card. And yep, next turn. Before I start my turn, I'll cast Buoyancy to examine the bottom card of the location deck, and I can put it on top. Do I want this? It's a buckler. Yeah, I think I do. Alright, so let's do an Arcane 5 check to recharge the card. Yep, so 5 plus 3 is 8. This card gets recharged. And then let's open the buckler. Con fort of 6. My con is a d8. So let's try it out. Yep, got it. It's in my hand. And I can't do anything now. Yep, so next turn. The Hammerhead Shark comes back. And this time I will use a boarding axe. So d8 plus d6. And that's it. I need a 9. I'm fine with taking damage because I got the shield. Oops, but I don't need to. I kill the Hammerhead Shark. And the axe goes back into my hand. And I can continue exploring. Most likely it's another monster. Oh, it's Abdoro. Let's do it. Yep. If we defeat this villain, he can escape to any of the other decks. But, you know, at least this location will be closed and he can't come here, and takes us one step closer to our goal. Okay. Definitely going to play the magic weapon. And what's my best weapon this time? D8 plus D4 or D8 plus D6 plus D4. And this is a D6 plus a D8. So I'm going to use the cutlass. And I'm going to discard the cutlass. So that gives me a strength of a D8. Let's show you. A strength of a D8, that's my strength skill. Plus 1D6. And then I'm going to discard this card to add another 1D8. Okay, and then my magic weapon gives me a D4. So the colors is gone for good. I have a chance to recharge that. So I need all of this plus 3 to defeat Adoro. Let's see. Let me just... Do I want to do that? Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, choose a weapon that doesn't have the two-handed trait and a spell that has the attack trait. When you play one for your combat check, you may recharge the other to add 1d6. Nah. Since I'm using both. So let's go. It would be good if I have another spell though. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I have a plus 3. So that's 15. That's enough to defeat Adoro. So he's going to be escaping into one of the other two decks. How does that work? First, you need to... let's just close this location first. It's an automatic close once the villain is defeated. Okay, so I'm going to go grab one blessing from the box. And he gets shuffled in to one of these two decks. So let's just shuffle in the Lonely Island and shuffle in the Floating Shipyard. Okay, and this is closed. Now I end my turn. I'm gonna have to recharge my magic weapon. In craft, arcane check is a d8 plus 3. Yep, I needed 6, so that works. Recharged. Okay, and then I will end my turn and draw back my hand. Alright, let's go to the Lonely Island, because the Lonely Island is a bit easier in the sense that it doesn't have any monsters. It has 3 barriers, but more importantly is it has 1d4 to checks attempted at this location. So let's head over there, turn the timer over, and just focus in on this part for now. You can probably ignore the others in my hand, of course. Alright. Ooh, a large chest. The difficulty to defeat the barrier is increased by the adventure deck, which is 0. Okay, we've defeated at 1d4 random weapons from the box. I need a strength melee of 9 or a dexterity disable of... The strength melee of 10, sorry, and a dexterity disable of 9. I can't... Dexterity is no good. I'm gonna have to use a strength melee, so d8 plus 3. I need to beat a 10. So what I'm gonna do is... I have an extra d4 here. So it's a d8 plus a d4. Worth a shot. 6 plus 1 is a 7. It's a strength check. Yes, it's a strength check. Melee is a melee check, sorry. It's a melee check. So my melee is plus 3. 7 plus 3 is 10. Yay! 1d4 random weapons. 2 random weapons. Now these are random weapons, so they don't necessarily have to be basic. Well, I hope they aren't basic. Let's see what do I get. A short bow and a boarding axe. Okay, they're 2 basic weapons, but you know, it's still okay because it does help me to kill more stuff, and I can essentially cards in hand are also hit points in a way. Can't move anymore, so I gotta stop for my turn. Let's advance the timer deck again. Still alright, it's still more than halfway, so that's fine. Okay, let's go. Ooh, Emerald of Dexterity. I need a dex of 7 to get this. My dex is d6, but it's a d6 plus a d4. Let's try. Oh, I rolled a 7. It's in my hand. Okay, I'm done. So next turn. Oh my god, he's quite slow. Yeah, very slow. Let's go. Ambush. The difficulty to defeat this barrier is increased by the adventure deck, which is 0. So if undefeated, examine until you find a monster, blah blah blah. But this location has 0 monsters, so not too worried. I'll just try to cycle cards in my hand. So I'll choose to roll dexterity. No. I will choose to roll... Yeah, it's either dexterity or wisdom. Yeah, it's fine. Roll dexterity. So same thing again. Need a 9. Nope, not gonna happen. Banish this card. I have no monsters, so not a problem. And I'm staying here again. So open. Wow, what's this? Falcata. Yep, let's do it. So strength melee of 7, d8 plus a d4. Oh, enough. Take. I got a big hand size now. Let's go. But I'm slow. Slow. Okay, that's a spell. That's fine. Let's try and get the spell. Arcane check. Yep, pass. Get the spell. Next turn. Let's go. We're making good time because we defeated the villain quite early. Dexterity range or Constitution fort to acquire this buckler. I'm going to use Constitution. So Constitution fort check is a d8 plus a d4. It's a 5. That's enough to grab this card. Okay. I just realized I forgot to check my hand size, but doesn't matter because I've never used any card at all. So I need to check my hand size at the end of this turn. My hand size is 5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards. I need to get rid of 6. That's okay. I think I'll get rid of the emerald for sure. Fire blast I'll keep. Force missile I'll keep. Eye patch I'll keep. This I'll keep. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Discarding all of this. Yeah, not a problem. And then I will draw back 1 card. Alright, let's go. Timer up and open. Again, an ambush, which doesn't make a difference because there are no monsters in this deck. La la la. It's just delaying the inevitable death by blessing then. Ah, what's this? Wow. Strength melee of 1d10. Let's do it. So I need a strength check, which is a d8 plus a d4 plus 3. Oh, strength melee 5, 3 plus 3, 11. I'll grab this. And I think I'm gonna discard my chain shirt and blade because I want to grab my ally. Ah, got it. Okay, so now I'm able to, in case I do close it, I'm able to banish any ally. Next turn, let's go. Oh, Blessing of the God. Acquire it automatically. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend it to explore again. Ah, there we go, parachute. Alright, so the parachute says, summon and encounter a random ship. Let's do that. So I'm just going to pick randomly. Okay, so the Wormwood. So dexterity 9, wisdom survival of 7. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to have to use dexterity, which is a d6. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to recharge this card to add 1d4 and the swashbuckling trait to defeat a ship. It doesn't have the word pirate, so to defeat a ship. So add a d4 to that. Wow, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. I probably won't be able to defeat this. If that's the case, do I want to keep this card? In case the... Yeah, so this is 6. There's a chance. Okay, reload this. Okay. Yeah, so I need 9. Ooh. 7. Take 2 damage. Otherwise wreck my ship. I will take 2 damage and I will take it by the... Since there's no more monsters here, I'll get rid of the force missile and the boarding pike. Okay. And that's it. So draw back. Important. Okay, enemy ship is gone. There's only 2 cards left. Blessing up by 1, and let's go. There we go again. I really need to do it. Dominator, wisdom survival 8 or dexterity 11. Oh my god, my wisdom is damn bad. No choice. Okay, I'll discard a blessing. So that's 2d6. Need an 8. Nope. Take 2 damage. I'll take these 2. Probably not going to be able to close this now. It's okay. Let me just shuffle this up. If that's the case, I think I will go to the other side and try and... Well, you know for sure that the ship is not there. And there's going to be 1 hammerhead shark and 1 villain here. So let's do it. Draw back 3. So I'm going to come here, open this, and open. That's good. So that's a 9. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just cast Frostbite. And that gives me a d8 plus a d6 and plus 3. Yep, so that kills the pirate. And then I'll attempt to recharge my Frostbite. Yep, that's recharged because I need 6 plus 3 is 9. I just needed a 7. Okay, so that's recharged. Oh, I only have 3 cards left in my deck. I will not do anything. I'll stay here and draw a card. Okay, so before that, what I'm going to do is I'll cast Buoyancy to look at the bottom card of this deck. I won't put it on top combat 12. Yeah. Recharge buoyancy. Nope. Buoyancy's gone. Open. Man overboard. Dexterity 7. Not gonna do it. So fail. It's okay. Open. Let's draw another card. It's an eye patch. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this. Constitution a D8. A D8. I need a. That's my expel. So I need a 7. Nope. So bury the top card of my deck. That's all my deck. And I will have to die. Alright, it looks like I am dead this scenario because of the ship checks. And I won't be able to get this ship anyway because let's see. Yeah, because I have to continue to get this ship until I... Well, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. Nope, there's no way I can. And this ship will always be there. And I fail. Alright. So that's my first playthrough of Pathfinder Skulls and Shackles. Fail. I think for the next one, I'm probably going to do it two-handed, meaning have 2 guys, one guy that's more proficient at getting ships, and the other guy just clearing the board. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this failed experiment of a one-player walkthrough of Pathfinder. I hope to do better next time. Thanks. Like, share, and subscribe if you like this video.